So when you and I were having our conversations the other day, I was telling you about Kanye being Swiss cheese and about he looked like a ventriloquist doll to me and he's just puppeteered and whatever. And then I went and I looked at Lex Fridman's page. I went and I looked at, where did it go? I had his, where did my Lex? Okay, here it is. So I went to his Wikipedia page, right, to just do a little bit of recon on him because I was pretty sure he'd gone to MIT and he worked for Google and whatever. So he's known for machine learning, computer science, and artificial intelligence, right? He went to Drexel University and he got his, he's a teacher or he works at MIT. And his thesis for his PhD.
Hold up. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He works at MIT currently?
Yes.
Then why is he living in Austin, the propaganda capital of the world?
Let's continue with my path. And I can't say, so it says here under his career, Fridman's career began at Google working on machine learning. Fridman is a research affiliate and lecturer at MIT. His work at MIT involves research into human-centered artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicle research, deep learning, and personal robotics. In 2017, Fridman worked on computer vision, deep learning, and planning algorithms for semi-autonomous vehicles. Fridman's work has been published in peer-reviewed journals. So his podcast started in 2018. It was originally titled the Artificial Intelligence Podcast. That's fascinating because of where I'm going to go with this, right? Originally, that was part of his MIT course called Artificial General Intelligence. The name was later changed to the Lex Fridman Podcast to give more freedom as to which subjects to discuss. Guests include Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Magnus Carlsen, Jack Dorsey, Ray Dalio, Mark Zuckerberg, yay, blah, blah, blah. So all the players in the op, right? Okay.
Not to mention the whole host of SFI folks.
Right. Yeah, he's there. He's a synthesizer for the op into something else, and I'm about to go there, okay? All right. His thesis for his doctorate was titled Learning of Identity from Behavioral Biometrics for Active Authentication. Okay. It's learning of identity from behavioral biometrics for active authentication. Okay.
That's so creepy.
So I'm going to just go all the way with this. All right. This is just Emily's Mr. Toad's wild ride here. I think that what we're looking at is some sort of machine learn, it's an artificial intelligence version of Lex Fridman. I think he is his thesis. So I don't know. I don't know if we're always looking at the real one or always looking at a created one, or it's back and forth. Right. But my guess would be that when he has the guests on, the idea is to learn a lot about them and from them to be able to create better facsimiles, AI versions, holograms, clones, all of this kind of stuff of them, and then be able to prove fidelity, how close they are to the real one. So I don't know if when we're watching the podcast, we're looking at the actual person and he's just trying to machine learn about them, right? And if this is weird, my computer just set up Dropbox and popped up a window right now. That is weird. I don't know if that.
I would take that as confirmation.
Yeah. So I don't know if we're looking at learning from them or if this is fake artificial intelligence or clones or hologram versions of them that he's created, and they're presenting the interview to see if people recognize. I think this is part of his project, right? I think that
would make total sense, because why else would he do a podcast? He has no personality.
Do we notice if there's a difference, right? Or if it's the real person, is he and whatever his systems are, they come into his studio or whatever, and the studio, have you ever seen the movie The Congress?
No.
I've told you a couple times to watch it for various things. Guys, The Congress is, in my opinion, it's Austin. Robin Wright Penn. It's a feature of Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, which is here in Austin. And I think that what they're talking about is here, right? Michael and I did a whole show about Pindar and the Violet Crown where we got into this, right? Okay. Lex Fridman is here. Joe Rogan is here. Michael Malice is here. All like Aubrey Marcus is here. Blah, 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 and on and on and on.
Hey, superstars, I'm weighing in to remind you to hit that subscribe button, to like, to share, to comment, and to click the notification bell so that you will be alerted every time I post a new video.
And on and Dell and Nikki and da 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 da, right? Okay. When you watch the Congress, right, at one point, Robin Wright Penn sells her likeness into the machine, basically. And when that happens, she goes for a full day of being filmed from all different angles, like what her face looks like when she says this, what it looks like when she laughs like this, and da 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 da. And then they have a perfect fidelity facsimile of Robin Wright Penn that will do all of her future roles. And she can never do a role again. And think about this. He has got some of the longest fucking podcasts. Like a few weeks ago, he did a podcast with someone for 7.5 hours.
Who was that with?
It's some Indian guy named, hold on. His name was, it was right before the Kanye West one. Balaji Srinivasan, about how to fix government, Twitter, and science, right?
7 hours?
7.5 hours. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but apparently there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff discussed there about like technocracy would be my guess, right? Okay. So they come here to Austin. Like, it's fucking weird. How is he afforded? Like, like Joe Rogan, we understand he's bringing people here to do their show. Tim Pool, like Lex Fridman. Okay. He's Kanye West, really? Right. He's had two. Right. Okay. So I want to show you something. Look at these pictures of these people that they're purporting to be the names they say they are. They don't look like real. They look like
Ben Shapiro.
Right? These are computer generated images of these people. They all have you
that nose or
right.
or that mouth. That
if
is
you
not.
Have you ever watched Westworld?
No.
Okay. Westworld isn't the only one that does this. In fact, I think the vision I'm remembering is from a different show, but not a show I watched as much of. Right? In some of these scenes and some of these science fiction shows, they will show pictures like that when they're moving into a character that is like a clone or a sleeve or whatever. And in Westworld, they retire characters and store them in the underground basement, right? And they look like that. They're just completely frozen in like one picture, right? Like these to me look like the machine learned generation of this person.
Totally. Go back up to the top. Look at what is that?
I don't know.
Next to his name.
Right. It's weird, right?
Not him. That's not him,
right?
Right. But he's wearing some sort of helmet and he looks alarmed.
Right. Look at these people, right? These pictures are all like, it looks like if I showed you, I was trying to find a picture. Let me see. Pictures of hosts in Westworld. I want to see if I can find a picture of them in the underground bases, like when they're in stasis. Let me see if like when they're in stasis in the underground, let me see if I can find one that is like how I'm thinking about it.
I did.
Okay. So here, like when they're in these glass, like when they go down for tuning up or reprogramming, they're in these glass rooms and they're just standing there like statues or frozen. And then if they take them out of rotation permanently, they store them naked in the basement, just staring ahead. And they look like the pictures Lex Fridman has there. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm going to see if I can find one that is exactly what I am talking about here. Like, see, this is one that's being worked on, right? They don't look like real versions of people. They take them down, they make them naked and they work on them. And they just have that like sort of blank fake. You're like, oh, this is obviously a mannequin or not a real person. Whereas like when they're moving around in the park, they at moments could fool you. Right.
This is really resonant because I did think during the Kanye that it was the most human I had experienced Lex, and that he had personality and intonation and expressions in a way that I hadn't noticed before.
Right. So I actually think that this was real Lex, and some of the things we've seen before was not. That they knew that Kanye is a little bit hip to some things, or that either hip to some things that others aren't, or not as on board. Like he doesn't know about the op. Kanye doesn't know about the op you and I are talking about. Kanye knows about the Hollywood thing. He doesn't know about the IDW and all that shit.
Correct. He doesn't know about that, but that would speak to his like, I know what you're up to, Lex intonation
Correct.
about robots.
Correct. Right.
I mean,
correct.
There's no getting around that he was signaling to Lex, I know what you're up to.
They were also in a different space than Lex normally is. They were in a very colorful room. It's almost like Kanye wasn't having any of that. He wanted to control the environment because he's paranoid.